Steph Curry was an absolute beast at the end of USA versus France. And, at the end of the day, there are moments in an athlete's life, in an athlete's career, where it's a defining moment. And Steph Curry has had a lot of defining moments. Steph Curry is maybe the single most exciting and electric player to watch in NBA history when he's on. And boy, was he on in the gold medal game against against France. France looked like, man, they're coming back. They're being frisky. They're doing everything in their power to give them a chance to win the game. All the momentum looked like was sucked out of the United States men's national team, and all the power was put in to the French national team. Steph hit three after three after three after three. It was unbelievable, man. What Steph Curry did is something we will remember forever. It was the single greatest moment in the history of the Olympics in men's basketball. Then finally, he said bon nuit to the French. I probably overused that joke a little bit too much on Twitter. And Steph Curry delivered home the gold medal for the United States. And of course, along with LeBron James, who deservedly won the MVP award for the whole tournament. Don't forget, Steph had a really, really, really rough and bad time in multiple games. But he really stepped up against Serbia in the fourth quarter, and he really, really stepped up big time against France in the fourth quarter. Pretty cool, if you ask me, seeing Steph Curry do Steph Curry things. And it goes to the point of this video. All I saw online was comparing and contrasting, and did Steph deserve the MVP? Well, if it was the finals, like the knockout round, maybe, but it was the whole tournament. And it goes back to what we do as a society, which kind of bugs me. Instead of enjoying the moment, enjoying maybe the greatest single, I'm saying literally the greatest single moment in men's basketball Olympian history, that last 2 minutes by Steph, literally the greatest basketball played in the Olympics by any player ever. We dissect it. We say, what does this mean? Oh, did he deserve the MVP? LeBron haters are out saying, oh, see, LeBron got carried by Steph. Jordan lovers, who I am a Jordan lover. Oh, look, Jordan would have took over and not Steph. Like, who cares? Enjoy the greatness. Enjoy watching good basketball. We always want to pick apart moments. We always want to pick apart players. We always want to make it about something that it is not about, instead of enjoying the actual moment of the greatness of Steph Curry. That was the greatest single. Like, dude, the shots he was making, the fadeaway three-pointer, he literally was an assassin, the baby-faced assassin, Steph Curry there. And instead of enjoying it, well, people were quick to say, oh, should he have won the MVP? It's really nice. These Olympics are a great reminder that patriotism, too, is huge. I think I saw a number that was 18.3 million viewers for the gold medal game. And in a time when this country, we are divided. We are a bit, in a way, like, man, oh, Trump versus Kamala Harris, Harris versus Trump, the economy, interest rates, impending World War III. People are like starving for some patriotism. People are starving for some unity. And that moment literally gave us so much unity. Watching the men's Olympic basketball team come together when they were down, when it looked like they were out. It was the moment everyone was waiting for in the Olympics. And Steph Curry delivered it. He rescued the United States men's national team. And LeBron James carried them to this moment. And it makes you wonder, right? Like there was a rumor that, the Warriors were trying to trade for LeBron James last season. Imagine if Steph and LeBron actually did end up playing together one day, or if they ever had played together. These two remind me so much of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, where they were deemed rivals. There was a moment where it looked like LeBron resented Steph, but now they're friends. And it's amazing to watch two of the best basketball players of our generation come together, put the United States team on their back, and help deliver an Olympic gold medal. This is not something we're going to forget. And we've seen the world catch up. That's my third point here. The world has caught up in basketball. 1992 Dream Team versus this Dream Team. I've heard it over and over again. Which one is better? Shoot, I don't know which one's better. Nor do I care which one's better, if I want to be honest here. What I care about is both teams serve purpose for what they have accomplished. The United States 92 team will start off with that with Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, and company. Well, they brought basketball into the global limelight. They made kids in Angola. They played Angola. That's why I said Angola. Kids in France. Kids in the Yugoslavia back then. Yugoslavia was already good. They created these guys. They created Wemby. They created Nikola Jokic. They created Dirk Nowitzki. They created the French national team. They created the German national team. They took basketball and made it into an international sport. That was the 1992 Dream Team's job. Plain and simple. To grow the game of basketball, and they sure did. They were the Beatles. This Dream Team, their job was to win the gold medal. They played all the teams the 92 Dream Team created. The foundation was laid by the 92 Dream Team, and the 92 Dream Team's foundation built this French team with Wemby, built that Nikola Jokic team. And their job was done too, and that was to bring the gold medal to the United States. They did it. Both Dream Teams have a place in greatness. Which one's better? I have no idea. Does it really matter? No. Because it's one of those fake conversations. Nothing in the history of this world will ever, ever, ever give us the answer to. What matters is the job was accomplished. And the job was accomplished in a funny way. The funny way to me was men's basketball here in the United States is built on athleticism. How high can you jump? How much can you dunk? Our athletes are better than your athletes. Sorry, French national team. LeBron and company's athleticism beat your athleticism. But that's not what won us the Olympic gold. And the irony of it all, what won the Olympic gold for the United States was Steph Curry's shooting at the end of the day. The skill. LeBron James passing. Skills. Yeah. Sure, we're built on athleticism. But shit, we really did a great job by being more skilled at the end of the day. When we needed a bucket against Serbia, Durant's the ultimate bucket getter. He got the bucket. When we wanted to get the buckets against France, Steph put the team on his back and he delivered the buckets. That's the new United States basketball. Steph Curry has changed that. He changed it from just an athletic game to a three-point shooting game. The 92 Dream Team, they built a global empire of basketball. Their job was accomplished. This Dream Team and LeBron James, hey, this might be LeBron James' last crowning achieving moment. They built that too. All of it was accomplished and all the goals were made and that's what matters at the end of the day. is everything, and the foundation was laid by the 92 Dream Team and all cultivated with this team beating all the teams that the 92 Dream Team built. Plain and simple. All right, so our next topic here is Caleb Williams and rookie quarterbacks. This weekend, we saw the rookie quarterbacks ball out. Caleb Williams looked electric. Caleb Williams looked like he had a little bit of Patrick Mahomes in him. He threw the ball well. That one play where he was running and kind of just tossed it on the side impromptu shows why he's been regarded as one of the best prospects in football for many years. He succeeded at Oklahoma. Caleb Williams succeeded at USC. Despite everyone wanting to complain that he paints his fingernails, he's gonna succeed in Chicago. And it's weird, right? Because he's hated. And I think we've come to this point here as a society. We no longer want to embrace these young athletes who come in and just kill it. We want to find a way to bring them down. And it's wrong. Look, Caleb Williams, because he had an NIL deal and he had all this money in college, people don't like Caleb Williams. That's a fact. Why do they not like him? Oh, because he's successful. He has all this hype before he's ever played a game. Go cry more. The Chicago Bears have been looking for a franchise quarterback what feels like my whole entire life. It looks like they found one in Caleb Williams. We thought CJ Stroud was electric as a rookie last year. He was. I wouldn't be shocked if Caleb Williams comes out with some similar success. He's good. The other rookie quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels, he looked like he's going to be pretty good. And then there's the Patriots. Did they find someone in the 6th round again? It's quite possible. Because Joe Milton looked like a better quarterback than Drake May. And I don't know if that team is ready to pull the trigger and say, hey, I know we drafted Drake May with the 2nd overall pick, but maybe we should just go with Joe Milton. Sometimes as a team, you have to literally look into yourself in the mirror and say, let's just go with the hot hand. It reminds me of 2 situations. One, the Seattle Seahawks back when Matt Flynn was signed to a huge contract. They signed Matt Flynn and they said, oh, Matt Flynn is going to be the quarterback. Pete Carroll brought him in and they drafted a rookie in Russell Wilson. And then Russell Wilson balled out. So what did they do? They did what they had to do. They started Russell Wilson. So at the end of the day, that's what the Patriots should do. If Joe Milton actually wins the job, give him the freaking job. The other rookie quarterbacks, J.J. McCarthy, he looks sharp. Kind of weird because at some point earlier in the college football season last year, the problem with Michigan was J.J. McCarthy, they said. Was he good enough to win? Well, then he gets drafted in the 1st round, and he is going to do everything possible to make a tough decision between. I think Sam Darnold's going to start, but he's giving the Vikings everything they can handle on this decision on whether they go with J.J. McCarthy or Mr. Sam Darnold. And then last but not least, 2 more. Michael Penix. He's not going to start, but he looks sharp, obviously. The Falcons probably just, when he reached them, they're like, whatever. We have to take him. These rookie quarterbacks, this class could become historic. I love Michael Penix. I went to University of Washington, so that's why I have a soft spot in my heart for him. And then last is a guy I don't have a soft spot for, but boy, do I feel like I'm wrong about him, is Bo Nix. Bo Nix looked like a franchise quarterback. And it just goes to show everything they've told us about Bo Nix. His maturity, his preparation, his leadership. He's the son of a coach. And, there was a funny anecdote that when Bo Nix went to interview with the Denver Broncos, that he walked into the room with three things in his backpack. And a lot of people made fun of this, myself included. Oh, he walked in with with cleats, a football, and tape so he can tape his ankles and arms for football. Oh, shit. Maybe he is prepared. Maybe Bo Nix is an ultimate amazing quarterback. Maybe Bo Nix is going to be one of those all-time greats. Look, Sean Payton knows quarterbacks. He moved off Russell Wilson pretty quickly. He wasn't happy with him. And all accounts out of Denver Broncos camp is Bo Nix looks really good. Somehow, so did Zach Wilson, who's also highly talented. Not a big fan of the Denver Broncos. Their fan base kind of bugged me after the Russell Wilson trade. But I have to say, boy, they might be a sleeper team this year that's going to be really damn good. That division I know is stacked with Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. And then the Raiders, unfortunately, aren't stacked. But could Bo Nix or Zach Wilson just become a star under the Sean Payton offense? Even Russell Wilson, who struggled last year, had an actually pretty good year under Sean Payton. I know a lot of us don't like Sean because he has an ego and he talks weird and talks aggressively and the whole entire Bounty Gate situation. But I wouldn't be completely and utterly shocked if Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos somehow end up being the sleeper team in the NFL and being really damn good. Wouldn't shock me here at all. Good for them, and good for them getting those quarterbacks. And I wouldn't be shocked this year. Look, usually we're going to have two guys who are going to pop as rookies, right? Wouldn't be shocked if they're Bo Nix this year and Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, for obvious reasons. I think most people will agree with that. But also Bo Nix, because boy, was I wrong. All right. So we saw something here in the NFL preseason that we hadn't seen before. And that's Guardian caps. And there wasn't really many players who wore Guardian caps, but Jonathan Taylor did. And I was surprised. I had to look at Twitter and take my phone and scroll in and be like, hey, did this? What Guardian cap? Oh, I see it. We've only seen the Guardian caps in the really funny looking black thing that looks like a cartoon character. But the Guardian cap he had with the Colts logo on it gave me a hope and a glimpse that Guardian caps could become the norm in football. They really could. And I know a lot of people think they look silly. We don't have enough data probably behind them yet to tell you if they're 100% actually that much safer than what we're using right now. Do they really save concussions? Shit. Even if they save concussions by 20%, why not? It didn't look intrusive. It didn't look bad. And if you're going to be able to protect your players using Guardian caps, protect your players using Guardian caps. I don't see an issue with this. And I don't think most fans do either. I think in general, you have to take a look at this and say, is this actually going to solve the player safety issue? And if the answer is yes, then you go for it. You go for the Guardian caps. You let these players wear their Guardian caps and you push it on the players. And you might even make it mandatory if it is actually going to save people's lives and people's heads and stop concussions. Because look, in general, let's talk about football for a second. I love football. Football is my favorite sport to watch on television and in person. My favorite sport to follow. It literally feels like a festival. But if players are not going to be safe, we're going to see less and less football. California especially once you go closer to, Manhattan Beach, Newport Beach, the actual beaches. Kids aren't playing football anymore. The parents are not letting their kids play football. So at the end of the day, if you can get more safety, get more people playing football, we're going to have higher quality football. Texas is always going to play football. Alabama is always going to play football. It's part of their culture. But if we can protect from concussions, really just protect some from concussions, make the game more safe, we can also grow the game. We can grow the game internationally. We've seen the NFL pushing NFL Europe. We've seen the NFL taking a first game ever to Brazil this year. We've seen an international boom in NFL football. And one thing we have to do is keep it safe. We have to make it safe for the players so that international people will come in and say, hey, we'll let our kids play football and we'll grow this game. It's a great game, but is it dangerous? It can be. So that's why we have to do everything we can for player safety and everything we can to protect the players and make sure that they're actually safe. And our last topic on the rundown today is top 25 college football and the travesty behind the top 25 in college football. I'm not sure if you guys saw this. The first AP top 25 is released. Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama round out your top 5. Old Miss finally gets their roses at 6. Notre Dame 7. Penn State 8. Michigan and Florida State round out the top 10, 9 and 10. And I'm pissed. Look, I'm a Washington Husky alum. Look, I know we lost our coach, our quarterback, but we brought in Jed Fish, who really did a good job at Arizona and turned them into a top 15 team. You're telling me that the Washington Huskies can't crack the top 25? What are these voters doing? What are these voters smoking? The disrespect. And you put Oregon all the way up at number 3. They just lost Bo Nix. I know they got the guy from Oklahoma to come play quarterback there. But this is not fair to the Washington Huskies. The team that finished second in college football, the team that almost won the national championship is not even ranked in the top 25. Shame on you, voters. Shame on you. Shame on this system. Because at the end of the day, the Washington Huskies deserve to be in that top 25. Let's not forget this year is a 12-team playoff. And we got our 12th spot is Utah, Missouri at 11. What do you see here? You're seeing it just dominated by the Big Ten and the SEC. The top 12 has Georgia, SEC, Texas, SEC, Alabama, SEC, Ole Miss, SEC, Missouri, SEC. 5 of the top 12 teams are from the SEC. The Big Ten, Ohio State, Oregon. Sorry, just refreshing my screen here. Oregon, Penn State, Michigan. 5 teams also from the Big Ten. The only teams that aren't in the Big Ten or the SEC are Florida State at 10, Notre Dame at 7, and Utah at 12. Other than that, all SEC and Big Ten, and LSU, Tennessee are sniffing it out there, 13 and 15, and Oklahoma, now SEC at 16, also sniffing it out, trying to break into that top 10. Eventually, we're going to have 2 power conferences. Sorry, ACC. Sorry, Big 12. It's weird. They've ruined college football with this in a way. They've made it into literally the Big Ten and SEC factory. Don't think it's necessarily fair for other teams and other conferences and the pageantry of college football. Look, my Washington Huskies that we talked about earlier in this pod, they're going from being a team that was literally going to be the number 2 team in the country to now they're saying, oh, in this tough Big Ten, we're going to move them out of the top 25. Our rivalry game against Washington State has been moved to September 14th instead of end of the season. Now Oregon will become our biggest rivalry game of the year, which, by the way, I still think we need to go in and ruin Oregon's chances to win a national championship. They will probably make the playoffs now with 12 teams. We have a whole new, brand new college football we're not used to yet, college football that is going to take some time for us to get used to. And it makes me wonder here when I'm looking at the top 25. Is this better for the sport or is this worse for the sport? Because at the end of the day, what kind of scares me about college football and what made college football to me so amazing was the fact that the college football games mattered. You had two one-loss teams. Let's go back to last year. Two zero-loss teams between Oregon and Washington playing at Husky Stadium. We knew how big that game was because the winner was going to have a pole position to the top four. The Huskies won. Fast forward to the Pac-12 championship game. Huskies again versus the Oregon Ducks again. Winner probably going to the college football playoff. Washington won again. Now, if it was this season, Oregon probably could have lost both of those games, and they're in the college football playoff. Washington could have won one and lost one, still in the college football playoffs. Washington could have lost both of them, still in the college football playoffs. This, to me, is the big problem here because those games that mattered so freaking much just matter a little less now. Does that mean ratings are going to take a hit? Maybe. Because I might not have to watch number 7 versus number 6 and sit there and say, man, this is a playoff atmosphere. Knowing that if it's a one-score game, they're probably both going to make the playoffs. And it's weird. Just looking at this top 25 ranking one last time. I used to look at it in a bubble, like who's the top 4? Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas. All right, that's the pole position. But now I'm looking at it from 1 through 12, and I'm like Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Bama, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, Florida State, Missouri, Utah. That's the pole position. Interesting way to change up college football completely. The playoffs, however, will be amazing. They're going to have great ratings. People are going to love it. In general, we're going to talk about college football playoffs like we talk about the NFL playoffs. It's going to be like an electric factory. We're going to freaking love it. But I'm just worried about the regular season. I'm worried about the traditions. I'm worried about the amount we used to care about college football in the regular season and how much we cared about those games. Not sure if it's going to eventually end up being a whole different ball game. But I sure feel like it's going to be a whole different ball game. All right. Thank you for watching. This is George on Tap, my daily show, talking about the biggest stories in sports. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll be doing this Monday through Friday around 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Some days will be changed up depending on what's going on in sports. And I'll also try to come in whenever there's a big story with a live reaction so you guys can come and watch and, comment in. I love comments. So make sure you throw in comments. Live comments will be read on air. This is a solo show. Sometimes maybe I will have a co-host coming in, talking to me. But other than that, mostly a live solo show here. George on Tap, part of the Sports on Tap network. Make sure you like and subscribe. And thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time.